Hey guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be combining two videos and I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up and my May TBR. So before we start, I just want to say a disclaimer. If the video looks different, it's because I'm filming on a different camera. My current camera is broken and I'm trying to work with different cameras. Actually, I'm filming this clip of me saying my April wrap-up after I already did my May TBR, because I filmed my May TBR on a different camera, but that camera honestly was not that good. But I also didn't want to redo my May TBR, one, because it just wouldn't be fair if I repicked my whole TBR when I already did it, and two, I picked out a good TBR, so I also don't want to change it. So I'm going to leave that, but I'm starting this video and I'm redoing my April wrap-up just so I can have a better, start to this video, because when I tell you the last camera I used to film that wasn't that good, but you guys will see later in this video when you get to the May TBR. But to start with my April wrap-up, I only read 3 books in April. I read 2 romances and 1 literary fiction. So the first book I read was Normal People. I actually read this in a reading vlog and I gave this book 4 stars. I really did like it. I really liked the quotes in this book. Everything felt like a real situation that would happen. There were relatable quotes in here, relatable scenarios that were happening in this book. Sorry, I was trying to fix settings on this camera and work with me here, okay? Yeah, I really did like this book. The only thing about this book, which I said in the reading vlog, was that I wasn't connected to the characters. I was more connected to the story and what was happening. Like, I didn't really care about who it was happening to. It was just the situation. This book is basically about 2 characters who always find their way back to each other and find it so hard to believe that they spent time apart, if that makes sense. So kind of someone you're attached to, but also when you're not with them, you're not really thinking of them. But when you come back together, it's like better than ever. Like, you can't believe you guys went so long without being together, talking to each other. So yeah, I really like this book. And honestly, the ending of this book, it's not like happily ever after. It's honestly the most realistic thing ever. I want to go back and reread the ending, actually. I was underlining, crying, reading the ending. Yeah. The quotes in this book and just everything that happened in this book was so good. I gave it 4 stars, but yeah, like I said, since I wasn't really connected to the characters, I didn't really rate it higher because I definitely would have connected more. But I did really like the storyline and all of that. The next book I read was The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. This was actually one of her new releases, and I gave this book 3.5 stars. I think it's the lowest I've rated a Sarah Adams book. I've read The Cheat Sheet, which is connected to this book, kind of. It's like a standalone series. You don't have to read the first one to read the next one, but the characters from The Cheat Sheet come into the rule book. They make an appearance. And then there's When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect, which I rated those like 4, a little bit higher than 4 stars, I think. And yeah, I really loved all of her books, but just because this is the lowest rating doesn't mean I didn't like it. I really did enjoy it. It was entertaining. But the only thing, like why I rated it 3.5 stars, is because the characters, it was kind of like insta-lovey. I wrote down how at like the 30% mark, it felt like we were already like halfway through the book. Like they were already very into each other. But it kind of does make sense because these characters have a history. So basically the male main character, he's a football player and he needs a new agent. The new agent is his college sweetheart, whatever you want to call it. They were together in college and she ended it with him for, I can't remember what. She ended it with him. He never really knew why. She just like ended it and that's it. There's kind of that miscommunication until like probably halfway through the book it gets solved, and then it's just like them not really being able to be together because I'm your agent and you're a football player, whatever. But like I said, everything felt really insta-lovey, got together really quick, which again I understand since they had a past, but since we didn't really get much from their past, it felt kind of quick. Yeah, I feel like that was the only thing that was really iffy. Obviously, a lot of Sarah Adams books are like a little, cheesy, corny, whatever you want to call it. It was cute, and there were cute quotes in here. I love, there's a big man that's just like soft for the girl, and yeah, it was cute overall, but not the best. And then the next book I read, I actually have another book I read, but I DNF'd it, which we'll talk about after. But the next book I read was Ricochet, which is a novella from the Addicted series, and I gave this also 3.5 stars, which is pretty good for a book that's not even like 200 pages. I read it, I really liked it. Basically, it's you following Lily while Lo is away, and you follow her in these 3 months, how she's coping with him being away, how she's coping with her addiction. Yeah, honestly, it was interesting. I wouldn't say there was anything really bad about it. I can't really remember anything bad. It's just, obviously it's not that entertaining because there was not a lot going on. It was just you following Lily. You also get her sisters and the romances they're kind of gonna get into. I can already tell who, obviously Rose kind of has her situation going on. Her other sister Daisy has kind of something going on. So I'm excited to get more into the series. Like I said, when I first read Addicted, I'm not really connected to the characters. I really liked the story. But obviously this is like a 20-book series, so eventually I'm sure I'll connect to the characters. I'm already excited to read about every single one of them. So I am excited to continue the series. But yeah, that's what I gave that book. And then the last book I tried reading was Unsteady. And I'm pretty sure it's a new release. I don't know, I've been seeing it a lot. And I tried listening to the audiobook. I tried reading it on my phone. And I think I got 20% through before I was like, I don't know, I've had enough. It felt really insta-lovey, and I thought it was only me. I thought maybe it was because, I don't know, the way I was reading it, but I've seen and heard other reviews of people saying like it was insta-lovey. So I know it wasn't me. I also don't know if I wasn't in the mood for it. Maybe I'll get to it later in another month, but right now I just wasn't in the mood to read it. And I just wasn't enjoying how quick they were so into each other. So yeah, that book I DNF'd. But yeah, those were all the books I read in April. Now we're going to go to the clip that I filmed about 2 days ago where I did my May TBR. Like I said, the clip and that camera I used was not very good, so just cope with me. And I think I'm going to be using this camera for right now until my camera gets fixed or I get a new one. So hopefully it's fine, but that is what's gonna have to happen for right now. So please watch the rest of this video. I promise it's not that bad. It's a little rough to watch. But now we're going to be going into my May TBR. Now we're gonna go on to picking my TBR for May. So before we start with that, let's just say I don't think I read any of the books I picked in my TBR last month. I had a feeling it wasn't going to happen because, as you could tell, I was kind of in a slump in April. I only read 3 books, and also the books I picked I wasn't really in the mood for. That didn't happen. Didn't read any of the books in my TBR, but it's kind of like a toss-up if I ever read for my TBR, because the first time I did the TBR board game, I read a couple books that I picked for the TBR. I can't remember how many, but I read a couple. So yeah, so it's either I read a lot or I don't read any, and we're gonna find out this month. So we're going to get the board game and set it up and pick what the TBR is for May. Okay, so I'm gonna shuffle the yellow cards first. Now I'm gonna shuffle the green cards. So I'm gonna record on my phone so you guys can watch everything that's happening on the board. Okay, so as always, I'm gonna go 5 times to pick 5 books because I don't want to push myself to read too many. So we're going to start. I'm gonna grab the dice and we're gonna go for the first time 9. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the first one is a romance book. We're gonna get to that towards the end, but we're gonna keep going. So next dice is 9 again. This is a 6, but 9 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't remember if we skipped over that. I think we did. But next is a thriller, so we have to pick from the blues. We're gonna keep going. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna skip this. 5, 6, 7. Another romance. I'm hoping we get some interesting things because now we've just landed on like these. We're gonna continue though. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another romance. So we have 3 romances and 1 thriller so far. I think this is the last one we're doing. Hopefully we get something more interesting. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got a card at least. Now that we went around the whole board, the first one we're gonna look at is the card because this gives an automatic book title. So this, I think I already saw it, but yeah, it is The Way I Used to Be. This book is up here. So this book I've had on my TBR for a long time. This is a pretty heavy book, so I don't know if I'm going to be in the mood to read this book because I have been kind of in a fun book reading mood. Like, I've been wanting to read thrillers, which I never really want to read thrillers. I want to read romances. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about reading this book, if I even want to pick it up, but it will be higher on my radar since it is on my TBR, but we'll see. So this is the first book added to the TBR. Next, we have to pick 3 romances and 1 thriller. So since there's only 1 thriller, let's pick that first. Let's see if I pick one up. Okay. You guys are going to think I'm cheating. This one is Good Girl, Bad Blood. I actually started reading that yesterday. Let me get it. So this is the book I picked, Good Girl, Bad Blood. I literally started reading this yesterday. I'm about like 30% through the book. And yeah, it is currently May 5th. So technically I will be reading this in May. And since it's added to my TBR now, at least I know I'll be finishing 1 book. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. But now that it's added to my TBR, I'm for sure going to be finishing it. So that was actually a coincidence that I got picked. Next, we're going to... Oh, a romance one fell out. I'll put it back in. I don't want to be caught cheating. Next, we have to pick a pink one. I'm trying to like pick without looking. Okay. See if it focuses on you guys so you could read it first. Maybe in Another Lifetime. This is a Taylor Jenkins Reid book. So this one. This is another not really deep book, but all of her books that I've read, they're a romance book, but they're much deeper. They're not like the lighthearted fun ones. So again, I don't know if I'm gonna want to read this because I've just been in those like fun romance read moods, if that makes sense. I don't know what I just said, but I don't know if I'm gonna want to read this. Like, I do want to read it, but not right now. Like, I'm not in the mood for it, but maybe I will. I don't know. It is not that long. It's like 320 pages. So, hopefully, but I recently got this book too. Okay, next one we're picking is another romance. We still have 2 romances to go. This one says That Kind of Guy. I'm pretty sure this is a book that I'm gonna have to read on my phone or on my Kindle, but let me see if I could find it. I'm pretty sure this is a series of books that people love. I've heard a lot about these books. This is by Stephanie Archer. Wait, is this the same author that wrote... It is. Wait, I might read this. Okay, this is the same author that wrote Behind the Net and The Fake Out, which I've read both of those books and I absolutely love them. So I'm kind of excited for this one. I think I'm for sure going to be reading it. Yeah, I'm probably for sure going to be reading this. I'm excited for this one. So this, I have no clue what it's about. I just put it on my TBR because I know it's a popular like series of books. People like this one more, The Wrong Right Number. I'm excited for it. I have no clue what it's about, but let's see. Let's read the summary. My arrogant fake fiance, I can't stand him. Cocky and charismatic Emmett Rose isn't the relationship kind of guy. But now that he's running for mayor of our small town, his bachelor pass is hurting the campaign. Thankfully, I'm the last woman who would ever fall for him. We're total opposites. He's a golden retriever, and I'm sharp and snarky. He'll consign on my restaurant loan if I play his devoted fiance. Between romantic dates, a prom night redo, and visits to a secret beach, things heat up, and the line between real and ruse is lit on fire. I see another side of Mr. Popular, and now I wonder if I was all wrong. We can't keep our hands off each other, but it's all for show, right? A sizzling, hilarious, enemies to lovers, fake dating rom-com with whatever that says. Fake dating? Hey, I'm all here for fake dating. I'm actually super excited for that one. Okay, now we're going to pick our last one. Okay, whoa, a lot fell out. Okay, this is the last one. I actually don't know if you guys could even see these when I'm showing you, but hopefully. Blindside. This is a book I'm also going to have to read on my phone or my Kindle. I have been avoiding this book because I'm pretty sure it's a very long book, but I've heard amazing things about this book. It's the second book in a series, so should I read that in order? I don't know. I've heard the most about Blindside. Apparently it's a series. I don't know if you guys can see that, but apparently it's a series. I've been avoiding this book though because I'm pretty sure it's like a very long book, but I've heard great things about it, so maybe I'll get to it. But these are the books on my TBR. So the first book that was picked was The Way I Used to Be, and then it picked Good Girl, Bad Blood. Next was Maybe in Another Lifetime. Then That Kind of Guy got picked by Stephanie Archer. Then Blindside. So that is my TBR for May. And I also want to mention, if the video looks a little blurry, or I don't really know how this video is going to look, because I am filming on a different camera because my camera that I usually film with has not been working. So I really hope this video comes out good because I've been needing to film a video, so I'm hoping this camera is going to work until I get my old one fixed or I get a new one that actually works how I like it. But this is going to have to do for right now, so I'm hoping this video comes out good. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you know when I post my next video, and I'll see you in the next one. We're very close to 3,000 subscribers, so share and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!